I have to confess something. I don't really like watching award shows. Yeah, I know, they're great. You get to see your favorite artist perform. Yay, you get to see your favorite artist receive their awards. You get to see people, rich, beautiful people, wearing rich, expensive clothes on a red carpet. That is amazing. But I tuned in to watch the Grammys this year, specifically because I think 2 years prior it was announced that they are going to have a new category for African music, specifically to recognize African artists. Right, I was really excited for this. Tyler won the first award under this category, which is the best African music performance. And last year, rather this year's nominees were a bit shaky to me, and I was really confused. That's why I tuned in to watch it so I can hate on it appropriately or rather accurately. Yes. So I wanted to talk about this category because I have mixed feelings towards it. So let's get into it. So, before the Grammys established the Best World Music category in 1992, there were a handful of times where the awards recognized African music through its nominations. This included South Africa's Miriam Makeba, who won a Grammy in 1966 for her collaborative album with Harry Belafonte, titled An Evening with Belafonte and Makeba. This win would make her the first African artist to win a Grammy Award, and although it is important to note that Makeba won this award under the Best Folk Record category, because folk was the only category that could accommodating singing like hers in a South African language with acoustic string instruments and hand percussion. The irony of Makeba's win lies in the fact that although she had been nominated three times before, twice in 1961, again in 1964, and finally winning in 1966 for her collaboration with the US based artist Harry Belafonte, this pattern would later repeat itself with other African nominees. Many could earn, or rather, would earn Grammy nominations either through collaborations with American artists or only after working with them. Perhaps it's just a coincidence, but I find that to be really quite interesting. In 1992, the Recording Academy introduced the Best World Music category, a move that seemed to offer a significant boost for African artists. Groups like South Africa's Ladysmith Black Mambazo, the Soweto Gospel Choir, and Senegal's Youssou N'Dour were among those recognized under this category. Yet, despite its apparent inclusivity, the category drew criticism for marginalizing African artists and reducing their diverse sounds to a single catch all label. Another category that would later spotlight African music was the Best Global Music Album, in which Benin's Angelique Kudjo has claimed the most wins, a category that also marked Nigeria's Burna Boy's first Grammy victory. While these earlier categories appeared to celebrate a diverse range of African artists from across the continent, they often did so under broad and limiting labels such as folk, world music, or global music. In doing so, the Recording Academy effectively treated African music as a monolith, overlooking the continent's vast spectrum of genres, languages, and cultural traditions. This simplification becomes even more striking when considering that out of Africa's 54 countries, only artists from 15 countries have ever received Grammy nominations. Almost as if the Academy were doubling down, the Grammys announced the Best African Music Performance category in 2024. 2023 meant for 2024, sorry, a move that, even in its short 2 years of existence, continues to frame Africa as a monolith, perhaps in the most reductive way yet. In June 2023, the Academy announced a new category for African artists titled Best African Music Performance. This, according to them, was because the universe of sounds coming out of the African continent can't be boiled down to just those having an international impact today. The irony of that statement is almost deafening because in 2024, the inaugural nominations for this award were dominated by Nigerian Afrobeat artists, save for Tyler, the South African amapiano and pop fusion artist who ultimately took home the award. And as if that wasn't already a lazy attempt at representing African music, the 2025 nominations somehow managed to do even worse. Four out of the five nominees were Nigerian artists, and the fifth wasn't even African. Yes, the other nominee was Chris Brown for the song Sensational. I don't know if it's a song, it's an album, I do not know. Sensational, featuring Davido and La Joy. I won't even get into that one, but as Joseph Nenkwangwa from Malawi's Mouse Boys puts it effect perfectly, it seems crazy that American artists are awarded nominations in the few categories for music from Africa. It feels like the rich are stealing from the poor. We're going to play a little game. You are going to point to where South Africa is on the continent and to where Nigeria is on the continent, just to show the absurdity of these nominations. But nonetheless, to say that the representation of African music is fair and accurate at the Grammys nominations, it's a bold statement to say for a continent with 54 countries, over 3,000 languages, and an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 ethnic groups, each with its own musical traditions. Africa easily boasts more than 200 distinct genres. So the idea that the Grammys are offering fair and accurate representation feels, well, a little hard to believe. What seems to be happening here instead is a continuation of a familiar Western pattern, the oversimplification of Africa. The Academy appears to bundle all African music in one convenient box and call it representation. But let's be honest here, this award, like many before, wasn't really a celebration of African excellence. It's a celebration of commercial success dressed up as inclusivity. All that said, it wouldn't be fair to dismiss the Academy's efforts entirely. There have been a few, very, very few moments where African artists have been recognized beyond the confines of the African music label. Nigeria's Sade Adu winning Best New Artist in 1986, and South Africa's Black Coffee taking home Best Dance electronic album in 2022 are proof that it's possible. I just hope to see more of this because Africa deserves its flowers. And more importantly, it deserves to finally step out of the monolithic box the West keeps trying to squeeze it into. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed listening to the music, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I will catch you next time. Bye.